All right. So now, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Way Lightheart. I am excited, delighted to be here today. Of course, it's our Monday night series for Prosperity and Health Alliance. This is actually, it's supposed to be a 7-week course. Now, a couple things happened. Last week, I was in Vegas attending an affiliate conference, and I wasn't able to do the webinar. And I realized I got some feedback. Some people asking, hey, where are you going? I put another component of how you could make more money out of your business. If you haven't seen that email from last week, I would check it out because there's some really key ideas that you can add revenue to your business right away. But when I reviewed the marketing components, what's the components of world-class marketing, which I did 2 weeks ago, I realized that some of it might have been, shall I say, a little bit over the top. So like it might have been a little too technical, you know, explaining the other components. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break down 5 particular steps that I think anybody can do that will help you with world-class marketing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen so you can follow along as we go through this. Here we go. There's our screen thing. So here's how we go. All right. So world-class marketing part 2. So it's not going to be a 7-week course. It's going to be actually an 8-week course. And who knows, time we get to the end, it could be 10 or 11, because as I get your feedback, I want to be able to integrate and provide more value to you. Now, let me tell you a personal story. Years ago, so about how I went from hating marketing to loving marketing. So I can remember I grew up in an environment that was very skeptical of sales and marketing. And I thought that everybody that had a business was kind of evil and greedy, and that they were out to hurt people or out to take their money, or they didn't care and all that sort of stuff. And my upbringing developed a really negative association with marketing. The ironic part is there were so many commercials that I would actually memorize. I have this weird thing that I remember the jingles and the commercials from when I was 5 years old. I remember 5-minute rice. I remember, remember Mr. Clean scraping and scrubbing for 55 years in a thing, Mr. Muscle. I remember all, the Kool-Aid man running through the brick wall. Oh yeah. I actually loved the way great marketing made me feel, but I had a story about how I hated marketing. And this was exposed to me I think it was around 2004. So in 2004, I got into business with a friend of mine who was a world-class marketer, and we were friends. And for those who don't know, we own our company together. Optimize is my other company. And what was amazing about it is we were walking down the street by the gym that we both trained at. We were both personal trainers, and we're building an online business together as well. And my business partner was looking at a sign and was like, wow, that's a really good marketing piece. You just randomly said this. And I looked at him and I said, Matt, like, does everything in your head, like, do you always see marketing? And he says, Wade, everything is marketing. And I mean, what are you talking about? Everything is marketing. We almost got into a bit of a fight at that moment, certainly a heated debate about how I couldn't believe he was seeing everything as marketing. But here's the thing. We live in a world that is seeking our attention, whether it's social media, whether it's billboard signs, whether it is people on television, whether it's in the newspaper or a magazine. Everything that is coming at you is developed, it's curated, it's promoted, it is customized, it goes through marketing. Everybody, even your clothes, you put on your clothes. What are you looking? You're looking to see if you look good so you'll make a good impression, right? You purchase a car. You might have got attracted to the car because of the marketing that went. I'll give you an example. A couple weeks ago, I'm actually in the market for searching for a new car. A couple weeks ago, I went to the Lincoln dealership. Now, I've never bought a Lincoln, but I really like Matthew McConaughey. And Matthew McConaughey was doing an advertisement on television for the brand new, I think it was the Lincoln Nautilus or something like that. It was one of the Lincoln trucks, and they have a whole series. It's kind of a new version that they've come out with. And it's a picture of them on the lake and doing this sort of thing outside. And I was like, you know, that truck looks pretty cool. And I actually went into a dealership here to have a look at it. Okay. That was a marketing message that got me to a place where I could purchase. Now, I didn't purchase the car yet, or I don't know if I will, but the point of the matter is that was marketing. Great marketing. So the thing is great marketing is telling a great story that appeals to the desires, the needs, the ambitions of your client. It solves a problem for them. And I didn't understand that. I just saw marketing as negative. Well, now, having worked with my business partner for the last 15 years, and he is actually one of the world-class marketers, particularly in the online space. He's fantastic. He's really well knowledge and continually is learning the craft. I love marketing. I would say personally, I am not naturally a great marketer. I'm more of a salesperson, and there's a difference between marketing. A marketing is bringing, I would say, customers into the door, into the place of the purchasing. Sales is the ability to convert that person that's come to your presentation or come to your online event or met you in person or whatever into an actual sales. We're going to talk about sales tomorrow, or excuse me, next week. I'm going to get into sales and why that is so important in developing your salesmanship, your sales skills to communicate your product and service and help that person eliminate their buying, their limited buying beliefs, and helping them eloquently overcome those natural objections that come to any sale. That's sales. Marketing is bringing people in the door. And one of the things that I've learned to love and appreciate, will I ever be as good a marketer as my business partner, Matt? No, probably not. He's been studying this since he's 15 years old. He's been doing this for 30 years. He's exceptional at it. And he does his thing, and I learn from it, and I pass a lot of this on to you because I'm around a lot of really great marketers. Now, the marketers like me per se, because I'm more of a salesperson, which a salesperson will tell the same story over and over and over in unique ways based on the customers they present in order to get a sale done, to eloquently fulfill that. And so a lot of marketers like to do new things or try new stuff or do split tests and something, where a salesperson tends to like to do the same thing over and over and get that same result. I still get juiced every time I close a sale, whether it's on a product, service, or even just getting a person to buy into going to see another professional in the industry. I love it. So the bottom line is, whether you love marketing or whether you hate marketing, you are going to have to do marketing. So if you hate marketing, you need to do a couple of things to get beyond that. Now, and I'm going to talk about that at the very end, a component on that. So we're going to come back to that. We're going to loop back to that in a minute. So what is a couple simple and easy steps based on what we did last week? So I'm not going to go through and repeat everything we did from a couple weeks ago on this thing, but I will do some things that are applicable to help you actually market without you even knowing that you're marketing. So number one, be available. Look, there is nothing worse when a customer reach out to you and you do not get back to them, you do not respond to them, you do not get the information to them in a timely fashion. Oftentimes they're ready to make a buying decisions and you go AWOL for a couple of days or a week or something. Not good. You've just lost the trust and the faith that they matter or that they're important. So if you are engaging in marketing, let people know, respond to them quickly. Even if you're away on holidays, put an autoresponder on your email and your text messaging so that they know that you're away and that you haven't forgotten about them. And then when you get back, follow up. Let your customers know about promotions. Let them know about events. Let them know about sales contests or special offers. You have to be continuously marketing. I developed an AWeber. I used AWeber. It's an email campaign. And that's what we do at the Prosperity and Health Alliance. I created the Prosperity and Health Alliance so that I could remind everybody in my organization, there's thousands and thousands of people, so they could get the information at the time they want it. A lot of times they don't come to my webinar, but I check and there'll be several hundred people that'll watch it. There might only be 10 on a given night, but it'll be viewed by hundreds, sometimes thousands of people, and sometimes tens of thousands if it was a really relevant one. It goes out there. That's part of the marketing message. So let people know about things in a way they like to know. And then find the mode of contact they prefer. This is really critical when you're attracting new people into the business. Nowadays, a lot of the younger generation prefer to use Messenger, these type of apps. I'm an old school email person. I like email and I like the phone. Some people prefer to text. You can text them, they'll answer, but they'll never answer the phone. So the bottom line is one of the things you can ask people is, what is the best way to reach you? Would you prefer me to email, text you, call, or phone? That way you are communicate them in the world. Some people are really busy and they only want to get a text and they're going to respond to that after they're done their day. They're very like, for example, I don't answer my messages on my phone right away. I batch them because if I get distracted, I don't answer my emails. I do that maybe once a day. I do, and I'm not on the weekends. Like, I've created these buffers in my life, and a lot of other people have too. So find out their mode of contact and how you want to do. So be available. Okay. Next thing, step 2, put some heart into your answers, right? The old thing is nobody cares what you has to say until they know how much you care. Let people know that you care about them, that they actually mean something to you, that you are grateful for their business. You're grateful for the opportunity to educate them. You're grateful for them finding out more. You're grateful for them asking the tough questions, especially when you start out. You are going to get some questions that maybe you don't answer or you don't know how to answer. And it's like, you know what? Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Bob. I really appreciate that question. Now, not to do a disservice to you by answering incorrectly or getting something, I'm going to go get that information for you because I don't yet have that to you. Would it be okay if I get back to you in a day or so and get that information to you? And most people are like, great. I'm glad that you're just not swinging something. Add a personal touch to your responses. A few years ago, my customer support team in one of my companies, they started adding emojis, like little actual figures. They actually had their own figures converted on their page with a little kind of cartoonish icon about them. And it's amazing. Beautiful component. Also, if you can use language or emojis or anything that elicits compassion for people. Oftentimes people need an outlet for the frustrations in life. And oftentimes they're frustrated with things and they need to hear that you care about their frustration before you just solve the problem. So go ahead and listen and eloquently move into a compassionate response for that person because they're often suffering. And that's why they're here talking to you, okay? The other thing is don't get into bashing other people and products. Simply present the facts in a positive way, in a compelling way that highlights the advantages of working with you. Anytime I think that you get into the bashing game, it's an easy one to get into, but I think it cheapens you. I think it cheapens your brand, and people take notice that, well, maybe I'm going to be next, or maybe they don't feel comfortable asking you real questions because you've beat up the other product so bad that they spent 3 hours at that store with. And so you need to know what your competitors are presenting, and you need to be able to offer a fact-based counterpoints as to why your product or service is better, is superior. And that comes from education. Bashing is the lowest level of marketing. I know it's kind of in vogue right now. There's a bunch of people that, the quickest way to get attention is to take a hit at somebody, particularly if they're famous, or create gossip or those type of things. And it's kind of devolved. We see it in our political environments and stuff like that. And what happens is you lose the respect of the customer. Sure, it's titillating. Sure, it gets attention units, but it doesn't say much about you as a person. And so I think there's a higher road that you can feel good about, and something that you can put out there that your kids or your grandkids one day will be respectful and proud of. So stay away from that. Put some heart into it. Let people know you care. Step 3, find out their goals. Look, I can't tell you how important it is. I'll give you a great example. About a year into my business, I was doing okay in my company. It was obviously with Enagic, and it was a 6-figure operation, so it was good. And I was still learning, but I wasn't that comfortable with the business side of it. And of course, one of my now top distributors, and actually the top distributor in my entire organization, Seahawk Top, came to me, and he had a health issue, but what he really had was a financial issue. And I didn't know this, and I was focusing on the health side of it. But he was really interested in the financial side of it. He was very sophisticated financially, came from his own business. It was in the wreck in 2008. Now, the interesting thing about Seahawk is his goals wasn't just about the health. His health problems often stem from what was going on for his world financially during the '08 crisis. Now, I didn't understand that. I didn't really know him well, but I did find out a little bit about it. And I directed him to someone who had a business background. That was my big move. Then what happened is that person said, this person's really focused. You need to help them out, do whatever you can. So the thing is I did listen to what the customer was asking. I got a little bit lucky because I was able to check them out. I had a good upline that could direct and answer those questions for me. And the bottom line is, that was important. So one of the other ways that you can do is you can ask their Facebook, check their Facebook, find out what industry they're in. Find out what their family's needs are, what their wife says or what their kids are saying. Find out all these things so that they can be the expert with those other people that they might be making a decision with. You need to know their goals. The thing is the more information you know about their goals, the better you can tailor your answers to solve their problems, not your problems, okay? This isn't about solving your problems. If you solve enough problems for other people, you'll probably be able to solve your own problems, okay? But you don't need to focus on your problems. You need to focus on their problems and then eloquently fulfill that. So many people want to do a presentation that's exciting for them, not exciting for their client. They want to focus on what their needs are that has been filled, not that person. So you need to tailor that and use the languaging and use the compassion and use the empathy. Okay. Step 4. Don't just give answers. Okay. One of the things that I do when I do presentations is I do what's called a call out. And a call out means that I ask my audience the questions and I get them to repeat the answers. And the reason I do that is because if they repeat the answers, then the retention of that goes way up. Because one of the things I say is that, like, it doesn't matter what I say, it matters what you say. So if you say it, you're going to remember it much more likely than if I say it. So don't just give answers to things. Get people to come to the conclusions themselves. Help them walk through the gates. Even if you know, or it's 100 times you've been through this, it's easy to, what happens is it's easy to go, yeah, I heard that, and here's what you need to do. Trust me. Don't do that. Listen, and then feedback their problem in the form of a question to them, and then feedback the answer and say, okay, now, do you understand that? Can you repeat that back to me? And when they repeat that back to you, you're going to see how well you communicated what you think. Because so many times in the process of marketing or in the process of sales, you're not meshing. You think you're meshing, but you're not meshed together. And you want to get meshed together so that you are on the same page, because people don't actually hear what you're saying. They only get certain points or whatever. Think about it. You watch a thing, a TV show or whatever, and you start reciting it and you're like, Mary, that's not what happened. Yeah, it is. That's what happened in your head, not what happened in their head. So you have to realize we all have these biases that thing. So you want to use those. So ask your questions and listen to the question, feedback the answers, and get them to ensure that everyone is on the same page. Now, the other thing is when you talk about collaborating, this is really important with new distributors or new clients. So with new clients, you want to say, hey, okay, we're going to pick up the machine on Thursday. You're going to get the paperwork to me Wednesday. I'm going to go in, pick up the machine. I'm going to bring it to your house on Thursday or Friday or whatever that day is. So we're going to need to get this done. You're going to tell them what the sequence is going to happen. We're going to get this. I'm going to get your machine. I'm going to come over on Thursday. We're going to get this set up. I'm going to start running some water through you. When you come in, go ahead, be on time, do what you say you're going to do, follow through and do that. Make that introduction. If it's a new distributor, You want to write out what the plan is for them. How do you get started? Where do you need to go for webinars or training or science or all these sort of things so that they can learn how to do this, because they're going to repeat this down the road, right? The bottom line is when you build a plan with your client or with your distributor, they feel good about it. And that means if they are participating in the process, they're more likely to follow through when you collaborate. I always say you want to collaborate rather than dictate, right? Collaboration gets buy-in for people. And Jocko Willink, the guy from Extreme Ownership, who was in the Navy SEALs, when you think chain of command, just do what I said. No, he used to always get his guys to come up with the plan, and then he would help refine the plan because he said that helped them get buy-in. And you can check out his book, Extreme Ownership. It's a fantastic book. Let's talk about step 5, and this is the personal touch. And this also goes on part 4. What are you doing that makes the experience memorable? I would suggest reading Joey Coleman's Never Lose a Customer. It's a great way to create these touch. If you don't know how to do this, some people are just naturals at it. My mom is a natural at this. She just makes people feel good. She stops by their house and she brings them bread or cookies or bread, or she brings them a little gift or a dish or something. She's fantastic. Or people come to the house, they say, like that teacup. She's like, here, you can have it. She makes these memorable experiences, and my mom has thousands and thousands and thousands of friends, lives in this very small community, and she can go anywhere and know somebody because she creates these little memorable experiences. This is what the top companies are doing. I'll give you an example of this, right? So I gotta show you this. So recently, I had the good fortune to interview and be interviewed by a world-class person in the health space by the name of Paul Chek. And if you haven't checked out Chek's stuff, runs the Chek Institute. He's the guy that brought in the use of Swiss balls and all these different movements. He's an inventor. He's a real savant, a real Renaissance man. And you know, he's a living legend. And I went down to his house. We had a beautiful experience. We had dinner. We spent a whole day together. It was just a magical personal experience with Paul, and everybody I know that has this. And then here it is a couple months later, and I get this beautiful card from Paul, and just wishing you a happy, healthy, and prosperous 2020. Really neat little card. And on it, I got this other thing. Kind of excited about this. I just was reading this. He sent me this great book. And the card and the book actually even match colors. And it was relevant to a conversation we had at that time. Totally unexpected. Unexpected gift, unexpected card. Couldn't believe it. So what can you do in your business to create the unexpected? Maybe when you set up that person's water machine, you bring them a water bottle. You get them an extra water bottle, $10, so that they drink the water. They have a nice thing with the branding on it. You do that. Maybe you bring them a few bottles of the solution along with an order page of where they order it, and tell them how to use it and show them how to use it. Make sure they get into it. Maybe you give them a little chart that shows them how to use the product. Maybe you explain things. Maybe you give them a box of Ukon extra. Say, hey, this is a really great turmeric product that the company makes. Why not add that on? So little unexpected sewing, or do something special. You hear about their child is graduating. You send a little card, or you send a note. You find out when their birthday is, and you send them an e-card or a real card. The bottom line is, if you can go the extra mile and create these little magic mini moments for people, it makes an impression. And that is someone that they want to do business with you. This is all about creating a personal touch to your customers. And the thing is you can tell relevant stories about it, and you can use this as part of your marketing later on by telling personal stories of experiences that you have in like this. I'll give you another example. So for example, I was in Vegas recently, and I was over, and one of the most astounding people in our industry is Fred and Genevieve Brand. They're fantastic people. They're not in my business. They're cross-line to me. They have a great store in Vegas. When I go to Vegas, I get my water at the store. And I always take the time to stop in and see the Browns. And I came over the other day and had a delightful time. And Fred sat down, and he always gives me some great marketing, some tips or whatever. He sent me an extra thing. He gave me a bunch of gifts. They just go over the top. They're like, anytime you go, they're super sweet, super nice. Now, there's a lot of things I could be doing in Vegas. What I wanted to do is I wanted to go over and see Fred and Genevieve and to create an experience. Now, they have an absolutely rock star business. They're well loved by everybody in the company. And it's because of they creating those personal touches. This helps you build a reputation, and that reputation will carry forward the rest of your life. Now, final bonus on marketing. Marketing is a campaign. A campaign. It's not something you do once. It's not something you do hit and miss. It is a series of continuous and ongoing steps to attract your perfect client, then over-deliver on their expectations. Build a long-term relationship where you go beyond fulfilling their needs, that you actually help them with their ambitions. When you can speak to somebody's ambitions and they associate you with helping them reach their ambitions, that is when your life will transform. Your life will change. Your life will become radically altered, and you will change more people. It's not just about fulfilling people's needs. It's about speaking to them with their ambitions. By the way, I stole that from Brennan Burchard. He wrote Experts Academy and all that stuff. He's a world-class marketer, one of the best marketers online. You can check him out. He talks about fulfilling people's ambitions, and that's what he does. That's what, say, Tony Robbins does. He goes beyond fulfilling needs and speaks to their ambitions, and that's how you get a customer for life. Now, here's the thing. You must always continue to promote your product, your service in a tasteful manner that makes your clients feel so good about you, your product, and your service that they became a raving fan and promote you to virtually everyone you know. That is when you know you have a successful marketing campaign. When your product, your service, and the experience that you create for your clients, your customers, your distributors, your business people, the people that work with you, that work for you, and that you serve, when you do that, they will go out and tell the world for you. And very few companies get to that point. But when you get to that point, you can just write your ticket. So remember, you never stop marketing. You never stop sending things out. You never stop saying, are you going to get it all right? No. Are you going to make mistakes? 100%. Are you going to really mess up with people? Yes. But over that time, you will learn, you will grow, you will test what works, you'll leave in the dust what doesn't, and you'll take those experiences. But more importantly, when you put your heart into this, when you create these magic moments, then it doesn't seem like work. You are communicating as a human and contributing to other people's lives, and that feels great. And guess what? Now you're not working. Now you're just living life at the highest level. And so if a guy like me, who absolutely hated marketing, recognizes now that marketing is one of the most noble procedures that you can endeavor in, by serving people in the highest form, by speaking to their ambitions, not just solving problems, but speaking to their ambitions and helping the quality of their life go up exponentially for them, for their loved ones, for their friends, and that they feel loved and respected, and that you're there on their team to help them, they will go overboard to promote you, your product, your service, and you'll have a steady stream of clients for the rest of your life. That's what world-class marketing is, and you can do all these easy steps. Whether you're a world-class marketer, whether you're just getting started, whether you're somewhere in between, these answers are for you. Go through that formula. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm A.T. Lightheart from the Prosperity and Health Alliance. We'll see you next week when we go to week 4, sales mastery systems, maybe the most critical component for success in your business. Take care. Have yourself an awesome day. Lots of love, and we'll see you next week.